what's up guys, it's Maddie. Today we're going to be discussing The Archived by Victoria Schwab. I read this because of Jessie the Reader's The Archived read-along in March. Honestly, going into this I was very afraid because there was a lot of hype around this book, and books that have a lot of hype, I don't usually like to listen to the hype, because if I listen to the hype then I'll think it's going to be really good and I'll be really disappointed if it's really bad. But thankfully I was not disappointed whatsoever because this book was wonderful. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I think the only reason why I didn't give this 5 stars was because there was a love triangle in it, and just I can't love triangles. The way the love triangle in this was resolved, I would say, was really wonderful, because if you've read this book you will understand why I'm happy about the way it was resolved, but I'm not going to spoil it for those who have not read this book yet. The Archived is about a girl named Mackenzie whose brother Ben recently died. Mackenzie happens to be a keeper, a person who keeps histories, which are basically files of people from escaping into the outer, which is basically the real world. Because Mackenzie's brother just died, her parents decide to pick up everything and move to a hotel called the Coronado, which is very old, meaning that Mackenzie's job is going to get 10 times harder, because the older the place, the more histories are likely to get out. But this place, though it's old and has a lot of histories getting out, the amount of histories getting out is a bit insane. Mackenzie becomes a little suspicious of the Coronado's backstory and why all of these histories are suddenly escaping from the archive. The archive in this book is such a unique concept. It's just so cool to think that we don't actually bury our dead when we bury them. We keep their memories alive through the histories. There's this huge plot twist that has to deal with the archived that I did not see coming whatsoever, and it was so wonderful. The writing style in this book really reminded me of my own, which was really wonderful to read because I'd been reading stream of consciousness writing style books recently, and this reminded me of myself, which made me smile a whole lot. It was just descriptive enough to where I could visualize everything that Mackenzie was seeing. It wasn't too descriptive so that it became overbearing. That, for me, is the perfect kind of writing style. I would classify this book as action and mystery, but with a teeny bit of romance thrown in here and there. It's not central to the plot, the romance, but the action and the mystery is, because there's a lot of mystery that Mackenzie has to find out about the archived and the Coronado. I would really recommend this book to lovers of urban fantasy. I really enjoyed it. Pick it up, people, pick it up. If you haven't read this book, I would read it, and then I would come back so we can discuss it. Now that we're in the spoiler section, I can talk to you about my feelings on this love triangle. When I was first reading this, I was kind of like, okay, Owen and Wes are both really great. I like Wes a whole lot because he's not your typical male love interest. He's got the black hair, the black nails, the guy liner, and I just really enjoyed that because we're so used to in YA that male love interest, blonde hair, blonde eyes, rock hard abs, seeing them from across the room and instantly falling in love. Mackenzie sees him and is kind of like, okay, leave, I have to get to the archive now. I'm really happy that he ended up being part of the archive so she could share her life with someone. But back to the love triangle. Towards the end, I kind of was freaking out. I was at Gabby's house for her birthday. When I got to a particular scene between Owen and Mackenzie, I sent out a tweet.
I'm screaming because Mackenzie just, and Ben did, and then Owen, and her, and they.
Yeah, they kissed, and literally I don't understand what Mackenzie saw in Owen because he was a history and she felt his chest. He had no beating heart. Wouldn't that kind of set off a siren in your head? They're not alive. Maybe they're not good for me. But all I know is that now I have a fiery, burning hatred for Owen Chris Clark because he's a backstabbing little jerk face. He used Mackenzie to get to all the histories and let them all out. And I did not see that coming. I figured it was like Patrick or something. Thanks, Mackenzie. You brought me the crew key.
Ooh, I wanted to punch him in the face.
Thank God Mackenzie kicked him into the nothingness place. I have this feeling that in the Unbound, he's somehow gonna come back. He's gonna find a way to get through the into nowhere and come back because we don't really have an evil person in the Unbound at this point. point. I'm assuming that the Unbound must be left on a cliffhanger because Jessie the Reader wants a third book for the archive. Honestly, this book was not predictable for me. I mean, I figured Wes and her were gonna end up. That was something I predicted, but I did not predict the librarians being dead. I just assumed there was some magical quality the archive had that allowed them not to age, but I did not expect them to not age because they were dead. I can't even think about Roland the same way anymore because he's dead. And no one told Mackenzie, no one felt the need to tell Mackenzie, hey, your closest friend in the archive is actually dead. She likes to associate herself with dead people. She needs to get her act together and not associate herself with all these dead people. I really do appreciate Wes and Mackenzie's relationship though, because it goes through this really cute friendship where it's not a romance yet, because the way it ended was with Wes and her just sitting together. He did kiss her, but that was just to read her. But obviously, I'm hoping they're gonna become a couple in the Unbound. You really could tell that she loved him though, because in the end, when he was stabbed by Owen, she couldn't stop asking about him and trying to save him. He almost died, and that's kind of the thing that'll show you what you really feel about someone. Oh my goodness, I can't even believe that Regina's stupid brother was Owen, and he got her history out, and that's why he killed all those people, and then he had Carmen alter all those histories.
Oh, I did not. I was reading that and just kind of like, what? No, Owen, no, why? Owen, stop, Owen. Oh,
It was just so unpredictable. It's been a while since I've read a book that I was really surprised about stuff that happened. I was sitting at Gabby's house outside by the fire, and I was kind of yelling at my tablet as things happened because I was emotionally invested in this book, and I'm really hoping nothing bad happens to the characters in the Unbound because I have all the questions. There's this one quote in this book that just kind of encompasses everything that I feel into words, and it's wonderful. It's a shame they do that, he says, thumbing through the pages. Requirement ruins even the best of books. I love that. Wes, you are a genius. I love you. I love his character because on the outside you would not think that he's so literature oriented and so well-rounded and sweet, and that just goes to show you you can't judge a book by its cover, even though we judge all the books by their covers. This quote though is so true because I feel like certain books that were made to read in school make me not like them because I have to read them in school. I really do like a lot of books I have to read for school, but there are certain ones that I feel like because they're long and because we have to read them in such a small time constraint, I really don't end up liking them, and it's not the book's fault. What did you think of this book? I really enjoyed it. I'm certainly going to pick up The Unbound and hopefully Vicious by Victoria Schwab because I really enjoy her writing style. If you've read this, leave your opinions down below in the comments. I'm Maddie. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!